she said she didn't want to work in this particular studio because stuff kept happening. And before she left, she took her camera phone and she went, "Smile, Bob," and took a picture and left the studio. And then went back and looked at it later, and you can see him in the picture. Like he's like, yeah, he's like in the booth. You can see a man, and Bob always kept his arm up because he had rib problems. And you can see a man with his arm up, leaning against the side of the wall, like smiling at the camera.
Yeah, it's freaky, you guys. I went to record there, and Valerie, one of the Keith and Val, the owners of the studio, they were like, "Look at this picture, look at this picture."
Oh my gosh.
You see him? You see him? I mean, it was
crazy.
Freaky. Yeah.
And then, so they have that picture, and then they're in there one night, and it's happening again, and the computer monitor starts scrolling and going crazy. So the engineer like walks up to the studio and said, "Hello," and it scrolled again. And what did she go up and say? She like said, "Yeah, like, is this Bob?" or something, and it did it again. And then she went up to the computer and typed in, "Do you know that you're dead?" And nothing happened after that. It like stopped. Everything stopped after that. And they haven't had any occurrences after that. Oh my God! Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah.
And Travis was like crying like a little girl.
Intense. So thanks for bringing that painful memory up, Travis.
Yeah.
No, Bob. Yeah, he was a really nice guy,
really
good
cool,
voice actor guy, and that was really nice of them to dedicate that to him.
They told the story, Bob, not me.
Question. Yes, sir.
Where did you guys first meet? In the actual studio, or did you meet when you did the autograph stuff?
Travis and I met in a bathroom. He was reaching under the stuff.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I don't remember.
I remember the first time I ever spoke to Travis was on the phone, on Mike McFarlane's phone.
Yeah.
I was at Funimation recording Full Metal, and we were already several episodes in, and Mike, he'd called Mike, or Mike had called him while we were recording, and he said, "Hey, you want to say hi to Travis? He plays Mustang." And I jumped on the phone. I'm like, "Dude, I love you. You're awesome." And he's like, "Yeah, you're awesome." We just had a great time chatting and talking about how much we were looking forward to seeing each other. What was the first event?
I don't know. It might have been like a con or something. I can't remember. I don't know. Strange. All these years ago. I don't know.
And I remember when I first started working at Funimation, I heard stories. Stories about this uber talented, sweet, beautiful girl that worked at Funimation named Laura Bailey. I'm not kidding. Everybody talked about you, and I'm like, where is she? Who is she?
The goddess of Funimation.
Yes. Yeah. They love her at Funimation.
Laura and I met doing a commercial.
It was an indie film. No, what was it? It was called Net Talk Live.
Yeah, it was something weird.
It was some random TV show, and we were with the same agency, like back 10 years ago now.
99.
Oh my gosh.
We were extras.
We were extras. We were in the background, and we were sat at the same table, and we were supposed to pretend talk. And so we pretend talked for like 8 hours, and then at the end of it, we're like, "Hey, nice meeting you. See you later."
Now, weren't you the one that told him about Funimation, right?
Well, no.
Wait a minute, wasn't that?
What happened was he was a big Dragon Ball Z nerd.
Right, I remember that story, but I thought...
Big Dragon Ball Z nerd.
And he saw your name.
I've seen every single episode of Dragon Ball Z.
I went over to his house recently and found his collection of Dragon Ball Z.
VHS, baby!
And like...
Super Target.
And like a ton of DBZ action figures. All like
rows of tapes.
put up, all pretty like. And this is before he was a voiceover actor. Like,
I bugged her for 2 years to get me an audition at Funimation. She's like, "Oh yeah, totally." Never happened. Never.
I gave your name.
No.
I gave your name to the janitor.
And my dog.
Dark Mousy.
Travis, did you buy your VHS tapes, or did you do like what a lot of us didn't have to get up like 2 o'clock in the morning to watch it and record it on your VCR?
I definitely did some Toonami recording. I did that a couple of times. But most of them I just went to Super Target, bought it real fast. Me and my roommate did, so he took half the collection. I had everything before,
I think that's only half.
But
It's a lot of tapes.
it started going bad after, so why don't keep the beginning part? That's the good part.
I do have the beginning part.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I have the beginning part. I got the
It started
better
getting
half.
bad. I came in at the end. What are you saying?
Then you suck.
All right.
I think when we first started talking, and this is funny listening to this, because when you and I first started talking, you were more jazzed about the fact that I play Broly
Yes.
than even anything Full Metal. Who cares about that?
Jazzed or jealous? One or the other.
You'd make a good Broly.
Broly was cool.
You'd make a good Broly.
I remember I was very proud of you because when I watched it, they were like, they better do Broly right,
Really?
and you did. I was
Thanks,
like,
dude. I love you.
well done.
Thank you. Next question. Yes.
How did it feel playing in the OR High School Host Club Comic-Geek, knowing that he was such a ladies' man? I mean,
Yeah, that must have been a stretch for you.
Well, I already had a retort, and I'm not even going to say it because I just love you. No, you know what? It was funny because like 15 minutes into recording, we first episode, Caitlin and I just started, and 10 or 15 minutes in, she said, "You know what? I just thought of something." And I said, "What?" She said, "Tamaki is kind of a mixture of 3 of your more well-known roles." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" She goes, "Well, he's got that romantic, soft side like, ladies' man side like Dark Mousy. But then he also has a very intellectual, very articulate side like Phi from Tsubasa. But then he spazzes out all the time like Ed from Full Metal." So when we started thinking about that, we were like, yeah, he's kind of a mixture of all those things. So I love that character. And especially the second half of the series, the last few episodes with he and Kyoya. And when you come to find some of the backstory relating to how they all came to be at the school and in the host club, and Tamaki's feelings about the host club and it being like his